Welcome to the A Monday Moment with Dr. Mal podcast, where each week I, Dr. Mal, share life lessons and motivation to kickstart your Monday. Whether you're starting your day or winding down, join me or me and my future guest for a burst of positivity and a fresh perspective. Let's make Mondays meaningful together.
Greetings and happy Monday, everyone. I'm your host, Dr. Mallory D. McCoy, and welcome to this week's episode of A Monday Moment with Dr. Mal. As always, may this broadcast bring you what you need in the present moment. May my light exude positivity and kindness, and may my love be extended to all who could use a little extra. Ashe. Let's seize the moment. Today's show is titled, What Fitness Experts Want You to Know. This is one of a series of shows highlighting health and wellness. I have been speaking about plant-based dieting, but for the next 2 episodes, I'm speaking to fitness experts that happen to be vegan. And the knowledge that they dropped was just so good that it was so deep that I had to put them on 2 different episodes. So by now, you know I love me a good definition, and I'm team #facts over feelings. So let's get into it. Did you know, according to the CDC, only about 23% of American adults meet the recommended guidelines for weekly physical activity? I know, fitness can look different for everybody, but real talk, it's shocking how many of us aren't getting our bodies moving regularly. And here's another nugget. Research says that regular exercise can help reduce symptoms of anxiety and depression by up to 30%. I know 30% might not sound like a lot, but it's a big deal when you're trying to get your mind right. If mental health benefits aren't enough motivation for you to move your body, just remember you're also keeping that heart strong, you're keeping that body strong, and you're keeping that confidence on point. But wait, there's more. Did you know that inactivity is associated with 1 in 10 premature deaths in America? That's according to the American Heart Association. So even a quick walk around your block can help keep that heart healthy. And here's one for all my queens worried about slowing metabolism. Muscle mass naturally starts declining in your 30s if you don't use it. So if you're trying to keep that firm, toned glow, you got to make those muscles work for you, whether that's lifting weights, resistant bands, or body weight exercises, or if you're like me, who is an older mom, older as in 40, but older mom that has a 71-pound son that likes to jump on you and ask you to carry him when he's half your weight. That could also work out too. Another fun fact, short bursts of movement can still make a big difference. Studies show that 10-minute sessions of moderate exercise throughout the day can add up to some real health benefits. This means if you can't commit to going to the gym for a full hour, it's all good. Just break it up in smaller chunks throughout the day. And for my people who love data, women who do resistance training 2 to 3 times a week can gain an average of 1.75 pounds of muscle mass in just a few months, according to a University of Alabama study. That might not sound like a ton, but trust me, that extra muscle goes a long way towards boosting your metabolism and shaping those curves. So there you have it. A whole lot of reasons to love on your body with some good old-fashioned movement. Whether you're hitting the gym or just dancing it out in your living room, keep it consistent, keep it fun, and watch how everything else in your life starts leveling up, level up, level up, level up, level up, level up. That's why it was so important for me to have this episode and have the guests that I'm interviewing today. Let's get into it.
All guest podcasts are titled What They Want You to Know, and my intention is to dive deep into the minds of experts, thought leaders, and fascinating individuals to uncover the one thing they truly want you to know about their area of expertise. I intend to unapologetically and unequivocally center the voices of people from powerful groups targeted by oppression. However, if there are other community members who can interject on the topic, they'll be invited to the cookout too.
This week's guest is Eric Bell. He is a certified personal trainer and has been training since 2016. He is also an author and has published 3 books. What's unique about him is, like I said earlier, he is been vegan since 2013. So he actually started his plant-based journey before becoming a personal trainer. He said his sole purpose in life is to elevate the minds and bodies of Black people through his words and with weights. He slid on through to drop some knowledge on the people. So let's listen in and hear what he had to say. Welcome to the podcast. We're glad to have you here. Can you just share a little bit about yourself before we get started?
Most definitely. My name is Eric Beno, obviously. I'm from the St. Louis area, born and raised. I've been a personal trainer for the last, what we going on, it's 2025. So it's been for the last 9 years or so. So I got certified in 2016. And the way I came across training was that I went to college, graduated college around 2013, got 2 degrees in business, looking for a job. And, the corporate world was not treating me fairly, I will say. So I was trying to find something to do with my life. And so I'm always working out. So I've been working out pretty much my entire life. So I was in the gym, a club fitness, and one of the fitness managers came up to me and said, man, you should think about training people. And at that point, I didn't really know the requirements. I didn't know what it took to become a trainer. I thought I had to go back to school. So I was very kind of green with that. So I asked him about the process, and he told me that I could go get certified, just sign up for a little self-study package, take a test, become certified, apply for the gyms, so on and so forth. So once he gave me the game, I took it and I ran with it. And I've been doing that since 2016.
I love that. So I did notice that you went vegan in 2013. So how did your path to veganism or your path past veganism into being a fitness trainer play into that?
The vegan thing, I forgot to touch on that. But so I started around maybe 2010 dabbling with vegetarianism. And you know how that process goes. So I actually was dabbling between vegetarianism and veganism at around 2010, but 2013 is when I fully was able to go vegan because in 2010 I was in college. So, it's kind of expensive. So the vegan life was breaking my college pocket. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna wait until I graduate to fully transition into the vegan lifestyle. And so I did that 2013, and it was met with a lot of scrutiny, a lot of criticism, especially in the Black community. A lot of my family members thought it was a phase. They thought I was going crazy, and they thought I was about to shrivel up and die. And even when I got into the training space, a lot of other trainers didn't really understand the vegan lifestyle, especially with the way that I lift, like heavy lifting and powerlifting type of situation. So they were kind of confused about that lifestyle and how I would transition over to my teachings and my helping clients reach their goals. So that was kind of a rocky road as far as being a vegan and a personal trainer. There's still not a lot of us out here, but I think I was able to weather that storm.
Yeah, 110%. That's why I am thankful that you even agreed to be interviewed by me, because I'm really big on being plant-based and simple diet and fasting and things like that. So finding someone who is a fitness trainer, you've made health and wellness your life, and you are also plant-based, because I struggle with people saying, hey, I am about health and wellness, but I have to kill something in order to be healthy. And so you are a unicorn in this space. I do have a question though. What was the spark? So what was the shift into this veganism lifestyle?
The spark, simple. I watched a few family members around me at the time. It was a few things, but the main thing was the family members that I watched around that time kind of suffer from some diseases. So I started seeing, it was an uncle in particular. He was a very healthy uncle, at least on the surface. And I watched him die of cancer. And the way that took the life out of his body, I was like, wait a minute, and they didn't really understand what caused it. And like I said, on the surface, he was a fairly healthy guy. So that just sparked my mind to start digging a little bit deeper in regards to disease and nutrition and the relationship and the correlation between the two. And the second thing was I read a book, How to Eat to Live by Elijah Muhammad, both volumes. And once I read those two, that was really the spark for sure. Once I read those 2 volumes, it was a wrap.
So you're a reader and not a watcher, because for me, the spark was the What the Health documentary.
I saw
That
that.
that day I was like, okay, I'm done.
Yep. And speaking on that too, I also, at that time, I was also watching a lot of slaughterhouse documentaries too. I can't remember the names of any of them, but I was watching a lot of slaughterhouse documentaries. And you know how the saying goes, it was like, if more people saw how the meat was actually slaughtered and prepared, a lot more people would be vegetarian. So I started to watch the full slaughterhouse documentaries, and I was like, whoa, the conditions of those slaughterhouses. I was like, nah, I'm good. So that was a third thing.
But also to your point, because I've confronted people in my own life in regard to like, hey, watching it, they don't want to watch it. But even if they do watch it, there
Mm-hmm.
is cognitive dissonance that happens because it's like when we see something that happens to somebody, but we're not as affected by it unless it happens to us. I feel like that happens a lot with people who are like, I don't want to see it because it really doesn't affect me. I only get to see what happens on my plate, but they don't want to see the process. They just want to see the product.
Yep.
And because they only want to focus on what the product is, then they don't involve themselves in what's happening so that animal, that dead animal with no nutrition
Right.
can get to the plate. And so I was wondering what sparked you, because for all of us, it's something. I gotta talk to you because this is so important, especially because you are a fitness trainer. So people always ask me, where do you get your protein? How do you deal with that question? It's your take on plant-based protein or just protein in general.
Oh man, yeah, that question, man, I get that question often. I mean, I used to get it way more back in the day, man, but it's at this point that question is crazy because it's so easy to get the protein. For the most part, if I'm consuming the proper amount of calories, I'm more than likely getting the proper amount of protein. Like you would have to try very hard to be deficient in protein. Like it's very hard. When was the last time you heard somebody die because of a protein deficiency? When was the last time you heard? Yeah, you. Real simple, but for the most part, when people ask me that question and they ask for legit sources, I just start naming some of my favorite sources like hemp seeds, lentils, split peas, chickpeas, man, a tempeh, tofu. Like I just started naming all the sources, and I ain't even starting with the plants. You know, back in the day, the favorite cartoon was Popeye. He ate his spinach, so they was telling us something different. You know, so it's real simple. And then my proof is in the pudding. I post a lot of my workouts and the weight that I lift on Instagram. So for the people that feel like you become weak and frail when you become vegan, like I'm debunking that every time I post myself lifting an enormous amount of weight. You know, so I'm living proof of being able to debunk that type of myth that's floating around. So a lot of people don't even ask me that anymore because they see how I work out and I lift.
So outside of having protein as your main source of energy, what's another misconception that people have about fitness in general?
Oh, one of the main misconceptions, at least that I come across, is that let me say, like the more you work out, like the more days you work out, the sooner you will get to your results. That is not necessarily true, and that could actually backfire. Sometimes rest is actually the answer. So a lot of people think if they just work out 6 or 7 days real hardcore, then they can lose the weight faster. It doesn't work like that at all, not even close. But a lot of people come to me with that, and they think that. And I have to tell them no. I have to bring them back to reality every time they come to me with that. I feel like I get that the most, though.
Well, I'm just enlightened by that too, because I mean, of course, I'm team rest too. It's important to
Mm-hmm.
have both energies, but certainly I'd never heard that before. So thank you for giving us that. So I'm curious to know in the day of the life of the fitness trainer, what is your diet? Like, what are you eating?
So mine is a little bit extreme, well, not extreme, but it's very different from the average fitness trainer. See, I only eat one meal a day, like one solid meal a day. And I got that from Elijah Muhammad, How to Eat to Live. So I eat one solid meal a day and throughout the day, and I typically eat that in the evening. So throughout the day, I'm drinking smoothies or I'm making juices. And that's how I roll. So I'm pretty much like on a liquid fast, so to speak, during the day, and then I eat my last meal during the evening. And one of the reasons why I do that is because the way I try training so late to the evening, I'm eating late. So I push back consuming that meal. So I do that on purpose because I eat so late. So I don't want to wake up and put anything in my system like that. So I just do liquids all the way up until the next evening.
Okay, so you're training in the evening. Personally, you're training yourself in the evening time. So you eat your OMAD 1 meal a day before you train to fuel yourself through the workout. Is that
Now,
right?
before I work out, I drink my smoothie. I drink a shake. I drink a smoothie that I make. It's more like a protein type of smoothie that I personally make with bananas, hemp seeds, and I might do like some sunflower butter. But yeah, I make a shake like that and I drink it. And then after I work out, that's when I eat the meal.
Okay, so actually, I mean, you're not truly fasting because you have the liquid
Yeah,
diet.
right. That's why I did the air
Well,
quotes for the
through
liquids.
the workout, yeah, through the workout, you're being fueled by those fruits in the smoothies that you have in your juices in your smoothies. So, and you lift heavy on that.
Oh yeah. I'm pretty much raw food. I'm following a raw food regimen throughout the day, and then at night I eat the one meal. Yeah, I eat. Oh yeah, I've been lifting heavy. I've been doing that for the last 4 or 5 years. Yeah, yeah.
And then
I haven't lost strength or anything.
the 1 meal a day, what does that consist of?
Man, that consists of like beans, sweet potatoes, white potatoes, a lot of veggies, man, like spinach, kale, cabbage, broccoli, cauliflower, any vegetable you name. So I want the vegetable to dominate the plate, and then I might throw the bean or the sweet potato along with it and just kind of rotate the type of bean. And I might switch out the sweet potatoes for the white potatoes. So something like that. Just keep it
Yeah.
simple. And then, I don't really try to go too crazy with like rice. So every now and then I might do some quinoa or something, or cauliflower rice with some beans.
That's
But
nice.
yeah, real simple.
And it was real simple and consistent. That's key. Our bodies respond to different things. And if we're switching it up all the time, then you wouldn't be able to get the consistency that you have because you're switching it up all the time. I think
Okay.
that's important for
Oh yeah,
people.
consistency is key.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this kind of leads into, I got many more questions, but this kind of leads into my standard questions that I ask all my guests. What's one thing you want us to know about what you do?
So technically, what I'm allowed to do as a trainer, since I'm not like a registered dietitian, I can send like guidelines or suggestions or recommendations. So I pretty much do that based on the different type of individual. You got some people that they want to consume the meat, so I can work with them. You got some people that want to be plant-based or want a plant-based regimen or a vegan regimen. Then I adapt and adjust based on the person. So I switch it up based on the person. I send them like a food or meal guideline. So that's kind of what I send all of my clients.
Okay. And the other question, I used to think, but now I know. And you kind of alluded to this while you were speaking about what you do every day.
Yep.
But the misconception that we have to have 3 meals a day.
Woo. Yep.
Healthy. And now you know that fasting is a huge part of your regimen. Do you fast every day then?
Yeah. Well, like you say, technically not a fast, but I do that every day with the liquids. So I might do like a water fast every blue moon, but I try to do something like that when the season changes. Yeah, because that's like the best time to do that type of fast. So like when we go into spring, then I might do like a 2 or 3 day water fast or something.
That is my exact plan on this upcoming timeline is to do fast or like a juice fast or a water fast around the solstices.
Yeah, there you
That
go. There it
yeah, that's wild that you just said that because that's cool.
is. Tap in.
Uh, yeah, tapped in.
Yeah.
So from you, vegan fitness trainer, what is one shift that people can make to move toward transitioning into a plant-based lifestyle while continuing their very strenuous workout plan?
Ooh, that's a good question. So I would say move gradually with it and have patience with yourself. When I did it, I kind of moved a little too fast. and that wasn't the best way to do it. So what I would recommend somebody to do is like each month remove something that like remove pork. And as you remove, you add something that you don't normally consume. So I'm gonna remove pork for this month, and then I don't eat a lot of spinach, so I'm gonna throw in some spinach, and do that until you get to the level that you want to get to. So I recommend just every 30 days subtracting and adding on. So I don't recommend just making a major shift or transition like out the gate. Like that doesn't typically work.
So I know, I mean, it's different strokes for different folks because for me, with meat, it was like one
Yeah,
day.
yeah, yeah.
I, 6 months into breastfeeding and my son, I literally shifted on that day. I didn't know what was going to happen the next day, with my milk supply or anything like that. But that's just what happened. And
Oh yeah.
so, I don't know. So when people are on a meat-based diet, their full factor feels different than when they're on a plant-based diet. Literally, so that transition felt very animalistic. I had
Yeah.
this carnivorous, like where I could taste blood for like 2 weeks
Hmm.
after I decided to just be done with meat. And so I think that's important for people to understand is that what you may feel full like on a meat-based diet, you're not going to have that same feeling on a healthful plant-based diet.
Most definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
yeah, you got junk food vegans. Yeah.
yeah, which I mean, different. Like I said, we all have a journey, and I'm not talking about people because I had to go through that too, where
Oh yeah.
I was trying to replace the feeling of full that I felt on a meat-based diet to carbs. So I just became a carbivore, and I was just eating
Yep.
carbs to try to fill my belly. And then my body was like, "No, the lie detector has determined we can't do that." And so then it turned into junk food vegan. And then I started fasting. That really was the shift for me.
Oh
So,
yeah.
when people are considering changing their diet, they should just eliminate things
Yeah.
and see how their body feels because we might feel like we might not be as hungry as we have been accustomed to thinking that we are, which then turns into a whole brain shift too.
Oh, yeah. Most definitely. Most definitely.
And so I do have a question. How do you practice wellness outside of the gym? So outside of your liquid diet that you do, are there any other rituals or routines that keep you grounded?
And my whole life is pretty much a ritual. My day-to-day life, man, I'm always journaling, reading and meditation, just doing breathing exercises. And at a point I was doing like Tai Chi, Qigong, which, yeah, it's like stretching yoga type deals and whatnot. And I also been practicing jujitsu, doing some martial arts and whatnot, but that's still kind of related to the gym. But yeah, journaling and meditation are the main two things, the main two ways that I practice wellness.
Love that. And I do have a question. What do you say is most important, strength or mobility? Or is there one or the other?
Woo! Strength or mobility? Now that's a good question. I would say if I had to choose one, mobility. Because I like right now, like I have all the strength in the world, but due to the fact that I didn't focus on my mobility back in the day, like I suffer, I'm yeah, I just got a lot of mobility issues and it's kind of painful. So if I would have prioritized mobility, then the strength is nothing after that. So yeah, I would say prioritize mobility for sure.
You know what? I'm thankful that you said that. That affirms me
Oh yeah.
because I switched from, I was doing cardio all the time, running outside, which I run outside not just because of the cardio. It's really
Hmm.
how I tap into my higher self because I can hear better when I'm outside than in these four walls. Then I was doing some strength training. This year I got into a little strength training, little more strength training because I hiked the Manitou Incline in Colorado Springs.
Oh
And I needed to get my booty right and my legs right to get up
yeah,
2,784 steps or something like that.
yeah.
And then I just switched to Pilates. And that has rocked my world, my whole entire world, because I'm like, I didn't realize that I could stretch like this.
Man, that stuff is serious.
And it's little bitty muscles, you know what I'm saying, that it works. And so I'm thankful for it. And it certainly has helped with my mobility. And I even grew an inch. I went to the doctor just to get a blood test get a blood test,
Mm-hmm.
periodically to make sure my blood levels are right. And she was like, "You're 5'6".
Look at that. You grew. Oh, you done grew. You done grown out here.
I just extended my spine
No.
a little bit
Yeah, that's
with
it.
elongated.
Hey, we'll take that.
Yes. Okay. What's one fitness trend you cannot stand?
Oh man, what one fitness trend that I cannot stand? Oh my goodness. Oh man, I got 1,000 of those trends. Let me see. Whew, the main one I would say, I don't even know if this is a trend, but I don't the obsession with protein.
Mm,
Just
yeah.
that I can't stand that. And a lot of people that I get that come to me that's new, like they are obsessed with protein. Like they feel like they got to eat 160, 170 grams of protein. Like, no. So, and that goes back to like the keto diet and regimen. Like that was a trend. I couldn't stand that.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't stand that. And then from a workout perspective, like when you see all these influencers doing all these crazy workouts that you've never seen anybody that the regular person can't do, I can't stand any of that. I do the basics. I don't get on there and do pull-ups with a bar wrapped around my neck. Like I don't like when I see that type of stuff. Yeah, yeah, I can't stand it. The average person is not doing that stuff, man. So I keep it simple and relatable.
And I can attest, I mean, just even watching my sister's fitness journey, because you trained my sister. We talked about that before I started recording, but on the record, you trained my sister. And her transition into fitness has been just fantastic. First of all, we got to just move the body, period. But
Yes,
just seeing her gains and seeing her be so proud of her gains and things like that and the strength that she has. And I'm even envious of the strength that she has because, I'm like, Dad, you're doing big things. I'm proud of you.
yeah, oh
So,
yeah, yeah.
um,
She's strong out here.
she is strong.
Yes.
So, for final thoughts, if you could give one piece of advice to someone who feels intimidated by being vegan and just fitness culture or whatever, what would it be?
Block out noise and just focus on yourself. Like just always look within. Block out all the noise because damned if you do, damned if you don't. People gonna always have a problem with any type of decision that you make. So at the end of the day, when you feel like something is right and you ignore it, the gut is the second brain. So you feel it in your gut when this is a decision that you need to make. So when you feel that type of way, roll with it. So they call it intuition, gut feeling, whatever you want to refer to it as. Once you get that, roll with it. Do not let anybody get inside your head that will cause you to deviate from what it is that your gut and your intuition is telling you to do, because 9 times out of 10, that gut and that intuition is not lying to you.
Yeah, because it's a gift from source.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm learning to lean more into my intuition because I
Do
questioned it
it.
a lot. But
Yes.
it's about trusting yourself and moving, and don't question when you move. Just do it.
Just
Uh,
do it.
One of my affirmations that came up today, just like mistakes are just lessons that you can learn from. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
it. That's
If
all
you
it
have
is.
a quote unquote, if there's no mistakes, it's just you just move different. If you move into a direction and the direction didn't suit you, so you
For
can always
sure.
change that. Any last words of encouragement for the people?
Hey, the last words of encouragement that I have, people, man, practice patience also, man. Just be patient. You're not going to get these results overnight, but keep grinding away at it, man. Be patient. If you do what you need to do, plant the right seeds in your mind, via your thoughts, everything will transform as follows according to that. So just plant the right seeds, do the right things, and everything will transform according to that energy. That's simple.
But I love that you use a garden analogy and plants analogy. But every time someone uses a plant analogy, I'm like,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's right in there. We tapped in.
that's right. That's right. On the same vibe. Okay. Where can my audience connect with you?
Yeah, I'm everywhere. So Facebook, you just type in my name, Eric Bell, on Facebook. Instagram, I'm Almighty Vegan. YouTube, once again, you can type in Eric Bell. TikTok, Almighty Vegan. Shoot, am I missing something? I think those are all the platforms that I'm on. So TikTok, Instagram, Almighty Vegan, YouTube, Facebook, Eric Bell. That's where you can find me.
And do you have a website?
Oh yeah, website. It's called almightyfitnation.net. Yes,
Well,
yes.
it's been a pleasure to not only meet you, but interview you.
Hey, there
And
you go.
so thank you for your time, because I know time is a luxury, and time is a human concept, but it's a currency. So
Oh, oh yeah, yeah.
Well, that's all for me this week. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm forever honored and I'm forever grateful that you continue to listen to the podcast. I hope you enjoyed that conversation as much as I did. Next week, I'm continuing my health and wellness series by featuring another vegan personal trainer. But get this, she just ran her first marathon and she's 71 years young. I cannot wait for you to hear what she has to say. Until then, love and peace to all of you. Have the best week. Thank you for tuning in for a Monday Moment with Dr. Mal, now proudly a part of the Alive Podcast Network. You can find this show on the Live Podcast Network website and app, and you can find this podcast streaming across your favorite podcast streaming platforms. If you love to have the visual, you can tune into my YouTube channel, When Mallory Lives, to see this show and catch up on all my shows from the beginning.